The unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom. Oh, wait. Sorry. I forgot about the introduction. Hello again, welcome to the... blah, 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 blah. Okay, welcome. Bye. Goodbye. But outside the ballet, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street. While the glamour's dying, I would like to say. We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain and thank for your timely help. Think nothing of it. Believe you had an even more wearing day than Mikotoba and I, no? You could say that we were on the brink of defeat in court earlier. So this persecutor Sogi had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? My bestie. Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Would you say so? Kazuma changed. Hello? Okay. Sorry. There's a mild delay. Yeah, there's actually a strong delay. And I think I need to reset. Sorry. Oh, Miss Naruhodo. Oh. I mean, it's incredible to think that he'd even entertain the idea of acting as a Reaper assassin. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. Well, he started almost a year ago now. Mr. Sholmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then. About the motivation for what he himself described as a great detective's lie. I have a strong feeling that Sholmes already knew that Asogi was going to be targeted as a assassination kind of deal. I feel like, I don't know how, but he probably clearly remembers of the Asogi stuff because he was a very good friend with Mikotoba. So he definitely knew Asogi, and he probably knew about the the name Asogi. So probably from there he deduced it. Now then, I must say it's really quite a journey all the way to French. Well, it's another country, Mr. Sholmes. So, what's the news of Judge Yaku's with us? We took him Scotland Yard. The investigation detective there have a lot of questions for the man. Poor Professor Mikotoba, this must be quite a shock for him. Wouldn't else be surprised he ended up dead. Oh yes, I picked these up at the telegraph office on our way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday. You put upon me, Sholmes, had to fill our telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well. Oh, you had a reply already? What's so urgent though, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can't wait until later. I'm far too angry for an involved conversation at present. Well, that's good news, because supper is ready, everyone! Ah, what a feast it is. If it were none the wiser, I think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kibble, stew, steak, kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. Yorkshire pudding. Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up. In that case, I think I'll sit myself just here. This place appears to be only one set with a helping of a peasant as well. Peasant? You mean the bird? Oh, sorry, Holly, not there. Why ever not? Oh, we set places this evening. Yes. And that place is for Susie Daddy. For me? That's right, I made it especially for you, Professor Mickey. She's not even trying. Professor Mickey! I see. Well, that's terribly kind of you. I think Iris has a strong feeling that she believes that he's her father, I think. I hope, I don't know. It's a shame, really. What do you mean? Well, for a brief moment I believed it. That Susie and I were half sister, I mean. Yeah! Okay, so she knows a bit. Yeah, well, I think there was this little concern of mine. Oh. Iris, do you mean? Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. Secretly listening to the conversation you had after. Clever girl. Trick you all into thinking I left. Clever girl. Ah, Sholmes dead. What? Why? It's bad, sorry. The misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotoba are Iris' father. Yeah. Yes, about that, Iris. You know I know. You can't tell me at the moment. Oh, Iris. Wait. Asogi? The first hand is by a way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping. Oh, no, that's quite alright. Then why don't I get an apologetic piece? Why I don't get one? No, Hurley, you lied. So just, who is Iris' father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today. Could it be? So then let us die. I was like, oh, if it's not him, then it's Asogi. Or if it's not that, then it's, I don't know. So then let us die while our largely peasantless plates are still peeping hot. A fine idea, Sholmes. It looks absolutely delicious. Because Hurley was so keen to not tell her the name of her own father, right? So there was a reason, right? Because she deduced herself that Wilson was her father. So she was a nameless child? Like, well, nameless. Without a family name. You know, if you understand what I mean. In as much as you like, there's always seconds. This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. Or a telegram for Japan about Kansas. Sorry. I had a feeling because Hurley was too much of a rush. He let these opportunities slip away. I was like, oh, what the fuck is going on? What the fudge in the actual fudge was going on? Mr. Shaw, what are you doing? Being depressed? Sure, it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding ever Mikotoba refused to share huge passion with me. Nevertheless, felt I need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and took on with my hungry eyes. Huh. Sorry, Hurley, but I cooked that peasant specially for Susie Daddy. Even though I've played the role of a father for far longer. Mr. Sholmes, could I discuss some things with you? Certainly, my dear fellow, I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt, you're hungry to learn more of my deep love of game. Because we can, I think, like some people will say, oh, then Hurley is, Hurley is the father. I was like, why hide this so obstinately? I don't know. I could probably contain my curiosity on that one. You needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the peasant, we have some rather unpleasant matters to discuss. Yes, I agree with that statement. Telegram from Japan. So, what was in the telegram you received back from Japan then? Oh, this. As my luck, record found indicate duplicate photos. I'll take my luck that started to arrive in time. Duplicate photos? Duplicate? Oh, the thingy. K. Asogi, Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson. They all die. So, Gregson. Yeah, the fact that I saw Gregson name was interesting. Ashin was also interesting. J. Wilson. Those four names. We come across the exact same list before. But they all died. They came up in the unforgettable case last spring. what appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be a monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets from varying states, in exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked, with the decrypted a fragment of a message. Pseudonym. Kiyosaki, Asashi, Tigrax, and Ryunosuke. But we didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that information had been sent by somebody, the British government, to somebody in Japan. The question is, whom? So why are the names coming up again now? Yes, where did the sender of your telegram receive them, Mr. Sholmes? Here's the message I wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Jikaku office undetected investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of all names need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. I sent it to a detective who specializes in clandestine mission of this nature. Hosonaga! You're awesome, boy! You ask Inspector Hosonaga to undertake such an onerous task for you. And in my name? I wonder what goes up the opposite for this time. Guys. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand? Anyway, the list of name was found in your office actually protected. So you mean that mysterious collection name that was sent from Britain to Japan was sent to Judge Jikaku. He was the intended recipient. I don't believe it. For what purpose? To assassinate him? That doesn't answer the question of what a list of names actually signifies. I did formulate a hypothesis about it. A list of assassination? But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Sholmes looks deadly serious for once. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? The tragedy we had to go through at the SS Brewery was all for nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead at all. We're completely taking the bite lie. You told us your great detective's lie. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. Could it be that Kazuma was sent to kill Tobias Gregson, and Giselle Brad, ergo assassin, was going to kill John H. Wilson? So Giselle Brad, assassin, did actually manage to kill John H. Wilson. Kazuma instead was sent to kill Gregson, right? What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan. His remains, you mean? Precisely, Mr. Sutton. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain instead. Oh my, you mean? The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One a university student, lawyer, and one judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Sutton. I would successfully prevent a man from arriving on our shore for several years, at least. Wait, do you mean to say that was all aid of stopping Kazuma coming to Britain? That's why you... was all in aid? Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. In the light of Mr. Sogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer and a study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with this necessary qualification, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Oh, the one in front of you, the voyage to London still promised a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find ourselves another suitable lawyer. So, you manipulated me? Yes. I often remark on extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you will rise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe it. But if it was all contrived, I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as a murder. The woman was mistakenly arrested as a perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her? Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussion. I subsequently explained everything, assisted the unfortunate soul find the foreign refuge she sought. I seem to remember Mr. Sato and I had some rather strong words for her. You murdered her! Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word. Sure. I wonder if she made it to America then. America? I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such length, Mr. Sholmes? Why were you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain? The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see. Makes sense. An omen that in this very moment in time is close at hand. An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand. We need to find out exactly what Mr. Sholmes knows. Yeah. Kiyosaki was going to kill Gregson and actually killed John Woods. Only one of them. There was no room for doubt with your instruction in this telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were fairly clear that it was Judge Ikuku's office that should be researched, so you obviously knew there were the list of names would be found. Kiyosaki, Sashin, Redson, Jane. We only learned of those 4 names just over 6 months ago, only because they appeared as a part of the top secret government communication that we made. That's true, yes. But at the time you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that, approximately this time last year in fact, when you were both still in Japan. It really would be hypocrisy of my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets, because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communication between British and Japan governments. Perpetually doing what? How? Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Sherlock Holmes when he has the sign of knowing it. Oh my, Mr. Holmes, what a fabulous line! Now, 1 month after the list of 4 names was wired to a recipient, Shikoku, Japan. To hell. Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learned of the incident, my hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, was partly correct and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow. John, please, tell us all you know. Tell us about these 4 names and tragedy which they all somehow connected. As I said, when I learned Dr. Wilson murdered Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names, because you see, there was someone else on the list, who I believe to be recently deceased. What? Who? Ashin. but it was transcribed in Japanese script. His actual Miss Assassin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. Oh, I see. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. Accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining two persons on the list. Kei Asogi and D. Gregson. Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself. But determined it would be safest if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, so that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. Exactly. So, you already knew Kazuma-sama was Mr. Sholmes? Oh yes, Mr. Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I recounted many tales about Asogi to him in my letters and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. So Dr. Wilson is dead then? Again, no. Oh, Iris. I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad. I'm so sorry, son, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell him. No. But what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie with the fact there one big hole in your hypothesis. A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. You mean about Assassin, I presume? Oh, of course. Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing a visiting student under the assumed name of Giselle Bennett. I'm glad you keep it up, my dear fellow. I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago, in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel. Uh-huh. And upon hearing the startling revelation, the hypothesis I formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. What? Topsy? Yeah, I had it. What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Jones? I believe 4 names on the list were the names of the victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so, Assassin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed, and it will seem that Miss Shane was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Have you seen the student statue being near front? Ah. Which will, of course, explain why no motive could be determined for her actions. So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Assassin, it was because he was target of assassination. And for armed with the knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram, it was the least and very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, did it not strike you there's another element of clue? Who so secretly became a visiting student? Wait, you mean? But of course, the name you know only too well. You mean Kazuma? Okay, sorry guys. I didn't say on the first episode that they were gonna... Kazuma was going to be... I want to say victim. He was like, oh, Kazuma feels a lot of dying character vibe, or someone was going to be prosecuted vibe. You know? I was like, you're gonna prosecute Kazuma. Oh, he did say in court earlier today. Yes, on the 31st of October, accompanying Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out that mission. And the mission was the assassination of the mother. Your Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago. Surely not. In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say detailing an assassin's exchange. An assassin exchange? Oh, because I possibly have got involved in something like that. Yeah, that's actually... well, whatever. I don't know. So many problems. Let's assume that we have 2 parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those 2 parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That will be an assassination... It was like, you know, back in the days we had like, right now we have student exchange, you know, you swap kids, you know. It's not like, you know. Now, back in the days, assassination exchange. So the beginning, the British assassin is dispatched as a target, visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. You said it does sound like an exchange. But what on earth is the point? What did Dr. Wilson do? And what did, what the hell is called, Jackson did? Don't forget Naruhodo, the British assassin at least escaped conviction. Thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by the consular jurisdiction. Oh yes. Such jurisdiction should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our two countries, so the fact that it was brought into place suggests the invasion at the very highest level. Highest levels. Strong heart. These murders were two sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but a contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated, yet in truth, the assassins were complicit on singular devilish scheme. A dissociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plan. But wait a minute, if this telegram really is described as exchange, assassin, are you suggesting? You mean that Japanese killer target was never Seijiro Jigoku? So Seijiro Jigoku was the sender, right? Well, not sender, he accepted the deal. Told me that Soggy target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Here from Gregson? So Judge Jigoku wasn't actually the mark? Yes, that's exactly what it will mean. I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe. Mr. Sholmes. I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with a young pickpocket in tow. Yes, China. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson mentioned that us at a great exhibition, that he'd be transferring to Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in. I think the assignment was to reveal the truth about the exchange assassination. I think Kazuma accepted it just to reveal the truth, maybe. But I'm not sure if he was going to kill it. I don't know. Alright, everyone, that's quite enough. All this serious talk for one day. Isn't it early? I mean, look at the time! Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparation for tomorrow. Well, preparation. Well, I think she'll make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember. It is a little bit sad. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. This is Iris. I like the idea of being you my daddy! Because then Susie, who have been my big sister, being my one-chan, as they say. I'm sorry, Iris. I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing. You was okay with it, were you? I'm sorry. Wait, Mikotoba is single right now, right? With somebody like me will be worth it. I'll be delighted to be your sister. What, really? Oh yes, without question. So, you'll teach me all the ways you know to throw rune onto the... Sounds so wrong. I don't know. Should you teach me all the ways you know to throw rune onto the floor? You wanna learn the Susato takedown? Yes, of course. It will be my pleasure. You don't have to agree quite so readily. Readily? Well, wait a minute. Is Susie going to be my sister? You could be my big brother if you want, you know? I mean, yeah, of course. If you have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Oni-sama? Aniki. Well done, Iris. You must always be mindful of feelings. I raise you so well. Oh dear, what a punch. Because being sensitive is your strong suit, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's not the end of the episode right now. But I'm going to look for extra hardware for tomorrow now because it's for my big sis and big bro. What is all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing for what? You just have to wait and see. Okay, I'm getting good luck in court tomorrow and expecting a sterling performance. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll do my best, of course. This is going to be the last chapter of our lives. We'll discover the truth. We'll be astonished by it. We'll be, I don't know. So the night breaking trial proceeding became a crucial turning point. Exposing new truths will exposing new conundrums. There are lists of all names on the telegram in Judge Jigoku office. The extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as though I'd been plunged into an even great darkness. All of a sudden, at the same time, I felt sure I will see the light again soon. Because I was lucky enough to have my friendos, the most wonderful family in the world, steadfastly behind me. Where's Kazuma? Anyway, sorry. I feel Jigoku accepted the deal, but he wanted to revenge the professor. I don't. Do you think Jigoku could be the professor, and we actually killed an innocent man? I have a strong feeling that the professor is the Reaper. It's the same thing, just using an excuse. Manzeska's an excuse to kill more people. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the episode, and the next one will likely to be the end. I will probably divide them accordingly if it's gonna take more than usual, and it is what it is. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Have a lovely